Happy solstice, everyone.
Happy solstice.
And
Yes.
I've never been one to notice that or really bring a lot of significance to it. I've just never really like sat there and go, oh, it's solstice. But this one was a lot more significant and impactful than I've ever experienced it. Again, I don't know if it's because of the energies in Hawaii and all that kind of stuff, but it was really palpable yesterday, and I was amazed at how much energy was moving and shifting. And I'm sure everybody's had some version of that in their own way happen, especially with just us getting together as a group, which I think is always an amplification that happens or occurs because of that. Just and I know we have some new people in the sense that you may not have attended co-session before. Let me just make sure yeah, it looks like I'm recording. Yeah. Um, if you've not attended co-session before, just really quickly, it's a group it's a group meeting and a group effort to work together. And me being the technical geek that I am, really this came about because of my sessions with Jude. I started learning the Akashic records and basically started experimenting with using Akashic energy to uh, achieve different types of, I guess you could say, attempts at working with energy in a different manner. And it all came about because of my understanding of what link aggregation is. Link aggregation is a technology that combines multiple network connections in parallel. And the reason why you do that is it increases total throughput and bandwidth beyond a single connection, and what it could sustain. And so in so many ways, if you replace some of that terminology with light worker and frequencies, we are basically combining multiple light workers in parallel to achieve a higher throughput of energy and frequency that we can experience. And that wider channel increases the bandwidth for us to receive information together, combined, teamed, so that you are all experiencing this all at the same time. We're all receiving the information at the same time. And it has a unique ability of what I'll say, equalizing the information, because as individuals, we always get feeds, we always get channels, we always get downloads, but it's something else when we all experience it together, because that creates sort of the standardization or generalization of the information versus just going, well, someone's saying this and someone's saying that. Well, I don't know if that's really correlating or not. It brings about, like I said, a nice way of refining the information because we're all experiencing it together. So some of you may or may not have heard of the previous co-sessions. We've had many co-sessions that I'm trying to um, translate and put together or post on the YouTube channel that I've created. It is taking a little bit of time, but understand that in these co-sessions, we never know what we're going to get. Sometimes it's new downloads, sometimes it's meeting new beings and going into different dimensions and portals. And the amazing thing about it, again, is because we're all stepping up with intention and, if anything, committing and volunteering our frequency to it, we always get great expansion, and we all experience it together and we all receive it together. And in a way, it's very optimal and efficient, because instead of, kind of doing one-on-one sessions, we're all getting this all at the same time, which is great. And my alien mind thinks the efficiency is integral to this. Um, so yeah, with that being said, does anybody have any questions before we start? Or is that all pretty clear? Sounds like we're all on the same page. So I'm going to go ahead and ask that and state that if you are in a position where you are comfortable, whether you decide you want to stay on camera or not, that's all just up to you. It is not necessary. I always feel like whatever allows you to be immersive in this experience is always ideal. So if going off camera, laying down, reclining is much more, it's easier for you, go ahead and do that, because sometimes I find that external visual stimulation can sometimes be distracting. So allow yourself to be as comfortable as you can be in this process. And then, so if everyone's ready, I'll go ahead and start the process. Is everybody feeling good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All good
All
to
right.
go.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So thank you for joining me in this co-session journey. We're going to start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and letting that out through the mouth as comfortably or as naturally as you feel in this moment. allowing yourself to start to think of centering and taking your mental awareness to the energy field around you. By doing this, we're going to start to define the boundaries or points of presence of the energy field as your front, back, left, and right sides of the field around you. As you start to bring awareness to these areas, you're going to start to feel the boundaries of your field as the frequency activates. When you feel you've established these points of presence, we activate your foundational frequency. We're going to take our attention above about 5 or 6 feet so that we can start to see, sense, feel, imagine, or visualize detecting the light of source. In the beginning, this source light will feel like a dispersion of light particles, kind of spread out. But as you continue to bring your attention and focus to this light, the light will start to collect and group into pools, which will then concentrate into spotlights moving randomly above the sky until these spotlights all converge into one. Within this focus and through the power of source, we'll begin to travel with this source light downward through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root, legs, feet, through the earth star, all the way down into the central crystalline core of the planet, anchoring, centering, balancing here with Mother Earth in the heart of Gaia, setting the intention to clear and transmute all low-level frequencies, negative energies across all time, dimension, space, and reality. As we fully and completely release any density into Mother Earth, we're going to then travel that energy back up. Earth star, feet, legs, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, all the way up into the central sun, pushing past into the unity consciousness field, feeling our pinpoint connection to source. Understanding that we've created a chakra circuit pathway, allowing our consciousness to move freely and the energy to move unobstructed as we then travel back down through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, homing and centering into our heart space, expanding our hearts into the universe, allowing our divine calm and pillar of light to expand along with it, collectively allowing us to then sense the void, feel the void, expand into the void, and become the void. In this expansion of the void, we are everything and nothing at once. And in this expansion, we become one. As I call upon the cosmic table of light, I request source light records for myself, Vera Valencia Takakura. All right, I guess it doesn't matter. You can all say it at once, your name.
Tamara
Elvie
Pascal.
McGee.
Melanie
Kelly
Showiker.
Patterson.
Ellen Warren.
Denise Scott.
As we request source light records for each and every person that is here and present, I turn my hand over from the cosmic table of light, and as I move to open the records, I expand the records high and wide until they become the expansion of the light of the sky, setting the intention that all healings, clearing, support, guidance, information streams, downloads, frequencies, vibrations of the highest order and magnitude come forth for everyone present and in session. Also honoring, acknowledging, and requesting the presence of the ascended masters, teachers, loved ones, star families, galactic beings, archangels, ancestors, record keepers, guides, and beings of light to step forward and also be present as the energies shift and the dimensions move. Our group session is initiated. The records are now open. Field access is now granted. All frequencies are active. All records are online.
A couple of minutes ago, Vera, or everyone, there were two very elevated, I'm not gonna say beings, I think they're energies that are presenting like these moving white. They don't even have like a dimension or an outline to them. They're moving and huge, and they're overhead of us. And we are getting these beams of white light put into our right and left shoulders. They are crossing at our solar plexus and then connecting into Mother Earth, into the crystalline core. I'm understanding that we are receiving this in it to prepare us or make us better able to understand and receive what's to come after it. So it's a connection from a high up source down through the core of Mother Gaia.
Absolutely feeling it. My body is pulsing like a motherfucker.
Great feedback, Tashiko.
You're welcome.
I'm going to buy your first book, Tashiko.
100% with Tashiko over here. I am buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. Whew. I was standing up and had to sit back down. So yeah, it feels intense, but amazing.
These are not small beams of light. They are large. And are there chakras around our shoulders? Does anyone know?
It would make
Pretty
sense.
much lots of pivot points. Yes. Yeah. Elbows, knees, shoulders. Yes.
Yes, right outside both shoulders. When you do the triangle, like above your head and right, like about a hand's width length from both shoulders, is that golden triangle of the first connection. So yeah, you definitely have chakras right there.
Okay, so that's where they're coming through. Okay, it's starting to dissipate a little bit. It's still going though.
I felt a surge of gratitude as you were talking, and just like a ton of emotion in my heart, and like I got choked up.
I wonder, I was getting choked up as we were going in. I'm sorry if you guys heard me coughing. I couldn't control it.
Okay, so that transmission has stopped. We are now walking through, it's a field or a grass area. The grass is cut very, very short, and there are some low rose bushes, rose flowers, intermittently throughout where we're walking. So it's a very white-centered space and very soft grass, and we're all just kind of looking around, looking at it, embracing it, feeling our bare feet in the grass.
Animal energy again today.
I'm seeing quite an electric blue orb happening, very, very large, a very quite white light in the center, getting out to more electric blue as it expands.
Do you see it on the left side? Because that's where I'm seeing it.
I'm looking directly at it.
Okay, this blue orb, I see it opening up right now. There's two more beings in here, and these have more of a human or angelic face to them.
Seeing heaps of prisms of rainbow light coming out of this as well.
There's an ascended master here, but I don't know who it is. It's physically, I'm seeing shorter hair. I'm seeing not an older person, but maybe what we would call in their 40s or something. Male, looking very Asian or Egyptian.
I don't know if anyone can tap into that. I'm not
Yeah, I don't know either. So anyway, he's here and he wants to speak to us.
Okay. Can we just ask him who he is?
Oh, yeah, I guess that would. There's a reason why you lead this. So I'm seeing like a AP, like APOT and an ME. I don't know my Ascended Masters, guys, but that's what I'm seeing. Is there like one that starts with an A or a P?
I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, he's saying, I'm not sure it matters at this point because he's saying, we brought you all here. Oh my God, I'm really getting hot here. Okay. I'm just going to tell you what he's saying. We have something that we need you to learn today. We have something we need you to understand today. There are so many people here because you're all ready to hear it. Oh. These are the right people to hear it and act on it. Okay, there is a pathway. It is a travel pathway. It's going to lead you in 1, 2, 3, 4 different directions. They are all paths that lead to the same thing. It doesn't matter which one you choose, they will all take you here. The place that you are going is an overview. You can look down, you can look over, you can understand what is happening in the chaos. You're able to discern the calmness in the storm. You're able to understand what's actually happening, not what you're seeing happening, not what you're thinking is happening, what's actually happening. It is a viewpoint that is available to others, but they will have difficulty finding it. So this is a place we can come back to when there is disarray and we can get the full picture and the full answer. That's what he's saying.
This place is, what is it where, I guess, what are we?
Okay, so all of these paths lead, and I'm seeing a planet. It's not a star system. I'm seeing a planet, and it looks like the moon. Is it the moon? Yes, it's the moon. Okay. All right, there's something about the energy of the moon that will allow us to be in the space where we can see through all the muck and the dirty windows and figure out what's actually going on. So it's almost as if they need some people to be able to see the clarity of the situation and act with calmness and know what to do. There will be others that will know what to do, but if at any time there is chaos and we need to figure out what the pathway is or what we're supposed to learn, understand, know, see, we need to come into the moon energy.
So it's tapping into the lunar frequency. Is that kind of the idea?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And as soon as you said moon energy, it was just like, oh, yeah, this beautiful, calm feeling, like just that serene, gorgeous glow that when we view the moon, we feel that, in your heart.
That's so, okay. So he's saying now, thank you for that description, Tashiko, because that's it exactly. He's saying now that we are very close to having many times when this chaos, when this view of things is going to need to have more clarity so that we can carry on with what we're doing. He's saying it will be very, very easy to get distracted, to come off of one of those 4 paths we took to come into the lunar energy. But we need to remember so that we can come back to it and carry on doing the calm path, doing the right thing, answering the questions the way they should be answered, knowing what those answers are. And he's saying humans are very easily distracted. And he wants us to concentrate on not being distracted, and when we are, to come into the lunar energy. He's telling a time frame here. There will be a big chaos time in March. And by chaos, I don't know what that means. I'm understanding it to could mean anything, where there's just disarray across the world, maybe in just a spot where you're at, but it's big. Now I get it's bigger than that, just one spot. It will be multiple things going on across the world at once, he's saying. So the first time will be in March. He wants us to work with the lunar energy so that we become more comfortable and we can access it quicker in those moments.
It's working with the lunar energy. I mean, something we can just call upon, or is there any kind of symbol or mudra?
As soon
or...
as you just said that about that connecting to it, I just saw flooding with that beautiful soft pearlescent light. So it's not like the normal white of source. There is a milky and a pearlescent feeling to it, and I just felt it flood through my entire system, my arms outstretched, and becoming moon, as though you're drawing moon into yourself.
Nice.
And as we've been talking, as Tamara has been explaining, my hands have been moving this golden ball, and then as soon as it went into moon energy, it's like pond ripples, like much more blue, much more, calm and beautiful. So there's been such a transition of energy, even just in this conversation alone.
There's everything that you're saying is absolute. I'm getting absolute confirmation on that from him, Tashiko. And he's also saying that with this most recent full moon and the summer solstice, that the energy of the moon is greatly intensified now. And it's going to be for a while. It's like it's been cleared. Like we've, again, washed the windows so that we can see it, feel it, and know it easier. So much of what happened this year, the eclipses and everything, was to clear this moon energy. Yes.
And it's realigning in the meridians of your own. If you imagine that you have moon meridians, like particular channels that pull moon energy in, it was about clearing those too.
Yes. Okay, he's asking us to take a breath in, and then he wants us to literally visualize that moon energy, that lunar, that pearlescent coming in to our body and slowly encompassing down through our feet.
Yeah, it's kind of glittery. Weird.
Yeah. Sparkly, like
yeah, like kind of that
iridescent, maybe.
Yeah.
Opalescent.
And I have glowing orb fingertips.
Oh gosh.
Tamara, does the dragon energy coming in at this time have anything to do with this?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, it does, 100%. We are preparing. I'm going to tell you what he's saying right now. We are preparing and readying. There is much activity right now. And when he's saying activity, I understand that to mean like preparation, cleaning house, just as we did with getting rid of everything, all of our stuff in 2024. It's a lot, but it's not just that. It's everybody on the spiritual realm, everyone in the galactic realm, everyone in the angel realm. Everyone is preparing and getting ready. Is it for the... So there will be a trickle. This is what I'm being shown. There will be a trickle of various, spacecrafts, interdimensional beings that are going to be coming through in the next couple months. There'll be a larger deposit of it in March, and then more coming after that.
As soon as you said that they were preparing, I could see outer space and a whole ring of ships waiting. They're just sitting at this line in space, waiting to be entered into our atmosphere, into our solar system. It's like they're all just sitting there humming, idling at the lights.
Weird.
Tashiko, when you said that, my body's humming. I lit up. That is a huge confirmation. So that's what's happening. We're readying, and by readying, we're physically readying, land and plants, and we're spiritually readying, and we're changing our bodies. Everything is getting prepared for this. So that's where some of this chaos must be coming from. Yeah. Yes.
And as we keep drinking in this moon energy, keep coming back into calm, because if any of you here are feeling what I'm feeling, this chaos feels like fear. Like you can tap into fear so quickly. So just keep coming back to calm. Just flood again with that moon energy. Feel that pearlescent, feel that beautiful, feel held, and drop the fear.
That is huge. He's reminding us again that as we're talking about this, that it will be very easy to fall back into the human aspect of it, and that we need to be very mindful of not doing that.
So lean on each other if we're
moonstones
feeling
on.
that. Yep. Lean on each other when we're feeling that fear, and express it out loud to each other in the group or to one another. That way we can remind each other how to do it and what to do.
This group is massively supportive. I love how fast people jump on to help with stuff. And I think that's huge, Shelby.
Yeah,
have those visual reminders. I'm like a really big one on having altar objects or wearing jewelry, like wear moonstones, wear moon, so that you are connected to moon, that you've got those reminders on you, that you're wearing a moonstone ring that you see all the time. Stuff like that will help. Just keep reminding you, just a flash there, just a visual reminder.
That is a great tip.
And write moon on everything. Moon on the fridge, moon on the kettle, moon moon on your water. Moon.
Water. Charge it with the moon.
Okay, we have a huge, and we've seen this in one of our other calls too, but we have a huge white tunnel of light that has just encompassed us all as a group. And we're looking up. And we're moving.
I'm loving hearing that little tinkle. There's a wind chime or something just in the background. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of my Kelpie chimes. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3 different beings that are in front of us now. These are galactic beings, very tall, very thin, long faces. I'm seeing like a long beard on one, but the other two, no, they're 2 are from one place, 1 is from somewhere else.
Oh, beard.
This is like its own mini council, and let's see what they have to say. He's saying we will each be working in different directions. We'll each be working in different places. He's saying the sacred geometry that we have created amongst ourselves keeps us connected. He's saying sacred geometry is everywhere. We see symbols of it. We see signs of it. He said, but you can also create your own sacred geometry. And the energy of our group has created its own piece of sacred geometry.
Loving that.
And we were sitting on something at the top of this tunnel of light. I couldn't figure out what it is, but that's what it is. It's almost as if we're seated on like a spider web or something, but a 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensional one. It's the geometry that we've created with our work amongst ourselves.
I love that so much, because when I got onto this call, that was like my biggest thought. I was like, wow, I feel so instantly connected to so many of you. Just before we even got started, I was like, my full body, my heart share already started. And I was like, I didn't even have to put an intention in. It was like I was already energetically connected. So I love that.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm seeing it like an iridescent, like a spider web that's connecting each of us. And it's like through doing this work, it is like interdimensionally and through like the earth itself, like moving directly to each of us to where it creates like that looks like a like you said, like a 3D, 4D spider web.
it's exactly what it looks like. I didn't even know you could create your own geometry.
That makes
When I
sense.
was doing a healing the other day, I experienced exactly that. Between a mother and daughter, they had these incredible spider web strings between them. And it was all things. It was their genetic history. It was their love for each other. It was communication. It was worry because the mother was in hospital. The daughter was coming to see her.
Oh
And
my
it's
God.
like we create these webs all the time that our spirits speak to each other in this way along these strings. And in our own practices, we need to remember to disconnect strings sometimes from some people, from some situations. But between mother and daughter, it was so strong, of course, because they are so loving, so connected to each other.
So Tashika, 100% what I was being told, this is right before you started talking, so this is absolute confirmation of what you're getting, is that by showing us how the sacred geometry was created from our connection, he was saying you don't just connect to someone from having a holiday together or from loving them. You can connect to people in so many other ways that we don't look at, and we can connect by creating that sacred geometry ourselves. So it's basically another perspective of how people connect.
And that every thought creates a string.
And as we continue to hold that moon frequency, all of the people that we have connected that connection with will get, whether they're with us or not, they'll have a little more access to that vibration and that frequency, even when we're not present. So at any point, while we're calling in that and dropping into that moon frequency, I'm seeing it like come out of us and almost like ripple outside of the spider web and into all of the spaces that the spider web is connected to and all the people that it's connected to. So like when you touch one piece of the spider web and it knows that there's like the fly there, but like the opposite reaction to where it's like our moon heart energy is like pulsating out into all of the spaces, people, places that we're connected to.
Beautiful. I have a line from a song, and I reference this all the time. It's singing our space songs on a spider web sitar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's from Hair.
That
Singing our space songs on a spider web sitar. And so it's about the unifying. Every time you pluck a string, you send a song to somebody else.
Very cool.
Or to the whole
I love
universe.
that.
Wow.
So beautiful, isn't it? I've always loved that
So
song.
beautiful.
cool.
So many goosebumps.
Oh
Yeah.
My
I
feet
just
are
saw
tingling.
ripples. I just saw ripples of
That's
light.
the
when you
Let the Sunshine.
Now I want to play that song.
Yeah, that is so
Totally.
beautiful. He's also telling us that's why the strength of re-listening to these calls for people that aren't on it is equally as powerful because of this sacred geometry between us. I just love that, Tashiko.
I love it too. I'm writing it in the chat for everyone. Please.
All right, so now we have it's a spiral, and I see this all the time coming from the crystal and core of the earth. And it's like one of those like soft whip ice creams that kind of like spirals up until it comes to a point when it's done. That's what it looks like. But this one is crystal and it's clear, and we are like traveling this circle up to the point, all of us. This is a point that's higher to source. It's close to where those two beings those two energy things that were activating us at the start. This is right where they are.
It feels like we're going higher or something weird.
We
Getting
are.
that sensation.
Yeah.
Weird feeling.
Agreed, Vera.
Chest is pulsing.
I'm getting really lightheaded and waves coming through. We're up there, guys.
We're like in the Wonkavator.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so that's what that energy at the start was to enable us to come up to this level.
Wow. You're calibrated initially.
Oh, my feet are like asleep.
My whole face feels numb.
Yep.
Oh, I've got little pinpricks of heat in my cheeks for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
The back of my head feels like it's opened up, like ribbons are coming out of it, and it's I feel my head feels more spacious.
So as you're saying that, whoever said that, was that you, Tashiko? I'm seeing our literally the bones in our head are like expanding. This is what they're showing me. They're expanding, and it's creating more space for more, I'm going to say energy, but it's not just energy. It's like a frequency. It's like you like all of a sudden got tuned into a radio station you've never been able to get before. And
yeah, my head feels like it's opening like spacecraft wings.
And there are waves of stuff coming in right now. So they've expanded our head to give us some more, let's see what it is.
Bandwidth.
It's capacity. Basically.
I just listened to a podcast where they were doing almost like a documentary for Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, and they talked about how in the beginning he only was able to channel about 1% of Bashar's energy, and as he continued to do that and work with that frequency, it's moved up to 2-3. Now it's at 5%, where they connected sensors to his brain, and they were able to read which parts of the brain were moving and changing while he was channeling. And so it was like very important for them to just start with a little tiny percent, 1% of the frequency coming through. And as he continued to acclimate to it, like the different parts of his brain started to light up. And so now he's at a place where he's like his frequency is able to hold within 5% of this outside frequency. So I can see that that's like the same concept that's happening as we continue to work together and lean into this frequency and acclimate to it. There's more that's able to come through.
Shelby,
they've done the same. They've done the same with Tyler Henry too. They the medium put the electrodes on his head and watched his brain frequencies change as he talks to spirit. So beautiful to watch, and that it basically looks like he's sleeping when he's in session, and of course he's not. He's very present, he's very talkative, he's very connected.
It is so helpful to have all this information. You guys, that Shelby, I know you just know so much, but it gives context to what we're seeing, and I'm so appreciative of that.
So Tamara, are you outside right now? Are you like sitting on the ground?
I am.
Do you feel it going through your spine?
I feel it in my spine.
Down. Yes.
I feel it in my head is where I'm really feeling it.
It's like all in my head, but I feel like it's going like through the back of my skull and down my spine, pulsating like through my ass, pretty much. Just like to the ground, to Gaia. So I can't move. I'm just gonna sit here because I feel like I'm physically tethered. But it's kind of cool.
Wow.
It's interesting because I've been getting so many messages the past like 2 to 3 weeks about getting stronger and lengthening your spine. I know this sounds crazy, I swear to you, lengthening your spine and working on your back strength, just like, silly exercise. I just keep getting these messages and I'm like, why do I have to work on my spine? And then I'll go do it. But I guess this is why.
That makes
Absolutely.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yes, because the
Michelle,
stronger your skeleton can hold, the greater that kind of structure is for all of the energetic work that it's holding. It has to have good scaffolding. That's what I just got, because I'm seeing all of these like grids of golden lines like weaving through, what would be the form of my being, but the spine has to hold it strong, and it's your muscles that have to hold you up while you're sitting in that position.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
lots and lots of weaving. It's like gold thread through a blanket in all of these grid lines coming through.
Wow.
Also feeling like the bones, like if you think of the skull and the way that sound bounces off. So there's
The-
something about like
the resonance.
the way it like helps transmit, like how like frequencies and sound can kind of bounce off one side and to the other. So there's, not just about being strong, but that expansion, that flexibility.
Providing a cavity that allows for more movement.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just saw a very cute thing the other day that the C6 vertebrae has a really big smile in it. So your back is actually happy to support you.
I'm feeling like I'm seeing my grounding cord is a quartz crystal that's basically rooted all the way to the center of the earth. I don't know why it's that, but it just feels very strong, like there's a frequency going through that.
I
Sounds
think that's
legit.
why they showed us that going from these energy orbs down to the crystalline core. I think it was partially to help ground us, but also, yeah, I mean, you're seeing that, so that's confirmation 100%.
Like as we're talking about that, I feel a little burning sensation in my tailbone.
I've just really been only feeling energy in my third eye, like high third eye. Not these other places that you're all describing, but it's pretty concentrated for me here.
That's the strongest place it is for me as well.
I'm getting a lot of neck adjustments as well. Like my neck just suddenly goes click to the side. And I also feel like I'm sitting on, and I've been seeing this a lot too in healings and stuff as well, is like, imagine a flower, like a lotus or something. So imagine you're sitting on a lotus, and then it's almost as though not a stalk like a stem, but a whole lot of roots come from that flower. So when you were saying the crystalline cord, whoever said that one before, I'm seeing, yes, this interweaving of all these roots in these kind of interwoven spiral all the way down. But they're like thin filaments that become this thick cord.
I feel like the energy moving and still like at the calibration.
So they're telling me this is why we're here today. We came here to receive this.
Is there
Came here to
anything?
have a moon dance party.
Yeah.
And we are literally getting expanded as we sit here and do this. This is incredible.
I'm going to repeat what I said last night. I encourage everyone to like actively hold that crown chakra open for the receiving of this information. And as you breathe and drop it in from breathe in through the nose, exhale down into the heart space. And as you exhale, feel that like energy coming in through the crown. So actively hold that crown open, especially if you're not feeling any body signals. And be aware of that so that you can receive as much as you allow, because it is a part of us accepting it and allowing it.
The body's
That's
very
beautiful,
technology.
Shelby, because just before you said that, that's exactly what I saw. Crystalline shards, like shafts of light coming through the crown and all welling in the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for confirming.
This is what you guys have been saying, but I'm just seeing so clearly how we're being taught new ways and expanded ways of receiving. And we're doing it for ourselves individually and for ourselves as a group, but also for the collective, for the planet. Because there's so much divine galactic healing energy being beamed at us on this planet, and we're learning how to receive it
Mm-hmm.
in a deeper and deeper way.
Yeah, by us being on these calls and choosing to come into these spaces, we're like asking, not only receiving, but asking for more. And everyone who's newly on these calls, I'm being called to remind you that if any of this energy feels really intense or really strong, I want to say Vera had some really good techniques for grounding some of that energy, because it could feel a little overwhelming. If Vera, you want to share a little
Oh
bit
no, I
of
was
those.
just well, yeah, and I probably glossed over that because I was trying to get the call going. But yeah, I mean, remember your hands and your feet are chakras, and really one of the easiest ways to think of it is you have a receiving hand and you have a transmitting hand, and you think of yourself as a circuit, and you sort of you acknowledge that as and that becomes effective or affected as you understand that you're receiving in one way. And some people receive and transmit in different ways, but your whole circuit system, your circuit system must be grounded for the energy to flow freely and unobstructed. And that's a big part of just putting the mental awareness around your hands and your feet as you have that on the ground, as you're grounding. And then if sometimes you need to raise your hands up and allow yourself to open those hand chakras even more, kind of like think of it as satellite dishes or platters. That's another way just to know that you're cognizantly, you know, moving the energy that way or allowing the energy to travel through you in that same manner. And sometimes we
And
don't think of
something
it.
beautiful that just came to mind then as well is use your breath to expand your inner channels. Every time you breathe in, you can open your channels to be a little bit more fluid, more open, more clear, to drink that energy in, rather than feeling like you're trying to squeeze a whole lot of energy into tight little circuitry. Breathe, open, breathe, breathe, breathe.
I think that's a good point, Tashiko, because the energy will come whether you know what I'm saying, we can't control it. It's just how
Mhm.
our body's receiving it is crucial. And having the awareness to expand with breath, with the body is important because just like with data, you can send and transmit a bunch of data at something, but if it's not open to receive, it's not going to get anything.
Yeah.
And as I did that breath, I could feel that there was a space, definitely probably from crown, but more noticeably from third eye down through to under the heart, really just opened more. Like it just became wider channels here. Instead of strings of spaghetti, it was just fettuccine and then getting wider and wider,
So they want us to practice expanding this energy. They want us to breathe in, whatever the method that you just talked about, but they want us to literally push what we've got, push it out so that it's almost expanding our aura. And I think what they want us to do, the reason is just to become more familiar with it so that we can palpably feel it. So let's try it, everyone.
Taking the energy in. As I feel my head swell up.
I'm like trying to crack my neck as we speak.
The left side
Imagine
of my body.
every little, yeah, go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, imagining every little, like I mentioned before, that my head feels like an aircraft, like little panels are opening, and it's almost like every time you breathe, you open those panels a little bit wider. The skull opens a little bit wider. The channel down opens a little bit wider. Everything's just breathing and expanding, but holding that expansion so that every next breath expands it again, just millimeter by millimeter.
Yes,
beautiful pearlescent codes. Good.
If you've worked with Alexander technique or Feldenkrais, like somatic work, I remember being taught to imagine that your shoulders actually expand out like, a mile on each side, and that when I'm sitting and my thighs are perpendicular to my shins, that my knees are very far ahead of me, and that my shins are very, very long. And for some reason, this ties into what we're visualizing. This
yeah.
Expansion.
I love that.
Yeah, it does.
Wow. Oh, that just doing that is so intense, like in a beautiful, like soft way, if that makes sense.
It is, but I can feel it. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's very gentle.
And then create space between every vertebrae so that your spine gets longer. Just every little pocket in between, just getting a little bit more spacious.
Wow, as you said that, Tashiko, I'm seeing like the 12-strand DNA like stretching into this. I don't know. I know it's becoming more, and I can't think off the top of my head of what it is, but it's going from 12 to whatever. Someone else probably has the number. And expanding that.
One thing that I saw is maybe after we're all done with this, you might want to try doing like that ragdoll pose in yoga. Just kind of let your spine hang and move organically in order to like physically accommodate some of these energy expansions that we're getting, and you just move very gently side to side to just help support that expansion.
Can you describe what that pose is?
So what you kind of do, you stand up and you fold over, and you can bend your knees a little bit, put your feet shoulder width apart or so, maybe hip width apart, and you can bend both of your arms into kind of cradle your head if you feel called to do so. And what you do is just kind of like shift back and forth, and almost like you're like a willow tree, just kind of moving with the earth and the wind. And just be very gentle with yourself. And this will allow you to, it allows your spine to elongate, but also to, stretch. And you can, when you breathe in, imagine your ribs expanding, and just, fill yourself with light and love when you do that. And it's just it'll light you up.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're
And
welcome.
I just had clarification on something. I very, you'll remember better than me, but I've had, and I think you have too, had just some changes made to our spinal cord, like the DNA. But what we're doing today is activating that. And I am certain, without a doubt, and I'm being told yes, that many of you have also received those changes to your DNA. But what we're doing today in this practice is activating it.
Well, as soon as Shelby said about the DNA spiral, I got this massive like punch in the back. It was just like my chest went boom forward and light language just burst out of me. So I was like, I'll take that as a yes.
So I
I'm
guess, yeah, we received and now it's time to put it into action. And that's awesome.
And I'm seeing, it's almost like when you have seen platelets of blood, cells and stuff moving around in the liquid. I'm seeing like the movement of these plates of things coming in, and it's almost like I'm seeing them coming into either side of the spine as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like just these thin, like slivers, little slivers of light.
I've seen that before. So there's, this is not your typical upgrade day.
I'm also seeing light just kind of spiraling like at the base and going up, just like zinging in an upward motion around the spinal column.
So as soon as Janice started talking about the ragdoll pose, I automatically felt called to do it now. And so since we've been on, I've been like moving my spine and like just twisting my hips in all different directions very slowly, and like almost like opening up like my back, and like using my shoulders to like just moving my whole body slowly to like help to integrate all of this into all of the spaces that you're not used to turning and stretching and moving, and just making weird movements to like open up all of those cells, and that anything that feels stagnant is just kind of opens up. And as you guys have been continuing, it's like everything you speak to is like where I'm moving and how I'm moving. So it's beautiful.
I've been hanging upside down for a minute or two as well.
It's a good feeling.
I immediately did it too.
And it feels so good to
Yeah, I've got
support yourself.
undulations happening through my spine. And from the moment we were talking about shoulders before, it's like big shoulder rolls. And when Vera was talking about hands as satellites before, like opening that pose to open your hands to the sky, like, which is very opening of your crown chakra as well, like being the vessel, you know, and forming the edges of your vessel. And but also from there, not arms forward, but really shoulders back, spine, chest, heart forward, like really open.
Tashiko, as you're speaking, my shoulders just started rolling in this really beautiful, like it feels so delicious. And I'm remembering that we started with those beings coming in through our shoulders.
Yeah.
They're just like moving of their own volition. It feels so good.
And dance it, like really just feels slinky and serpentine, like every limb has a vertebrae almost, so that your arms feel like they have multi movement points, not just elbows and wrists, but almost like you've got vertebrae between them.
Like when a bird has wings and it's like multiple vertebrae, like you said, that moves in between all of it, because our bodies are becoming more, I'm hearing the word like plasticity, and being able to move and change.
And
and that in between the bones is so much juicy space. Like that's what we're also activating, is those juicy pockets.
I feel like speaking to the rib cage again. I know it's already been mentioned, but something I was reminded of when hanging upside down and coming back up is that if the back feels tight in any spots, or, you know, if there's a lot of focus on the spine and the back and there's something that's not quite opening, the front rib cage is a wonderful place to gently rub, like in between the ribs, or kind of find the tender spots, or the tender spot that correlates with the spot on the back, you know, that's like directly in front of that spot on the back, and that will help it open and loosen.
Oh, I love that, Melanie.
Yeah, that's great information. I just
Feels
haven't
so
seen my
good.
ribs in 25 years.
When you said
They're
about
still in there, babe. They're still in there.
when you said about the birds' wings, Shelby, I immediately saw like prehistoric birds that are deep, deep, deep in our DNA memory of having had those bodies as one of the first life forms on this planet.
Wow.
And that maybe we're accessing some of the deep wisdom from that
Yeah,
prehistoric
biology.
history.
No, that makes sense. It's like
And
a
I just had
biological recall. That's
birds.
crazy.
I just
Yeah,
had
that
birds shriek
resonates
outside
for
my
sure.
window as well.
Confirmation.
I love that.
Yep. They're
I
like,
know
yeah.
I know in a past life I could fly. I could actually fly thanks to Tamara. She told me this. And so the wings actually really resonate with me. And I feel I'm always reminded of Isis and how she was a humanoid looking
With the
being, but then
wings.
she actually created and transformed with wings. And so at play, sometimes she's depicted with the wings, sometimes she's depicted without them. And there's like this myth of like that it was just metaphorical, but it was actual physical. Like her body could physically
Oh,
transform from being a normal human into a winged being because I believe from Sirius.
Mary, I'm telling
Yeah,
you, once you
I just got a massive vision with that. That was fucking insane.
Uh-huh.
and Mary, when
I
you were
was seeing
saying,
all of these golden spirals coming out as the feathers were forming. So almost off the base of the arm, golden spirals, and then that would form a feather, and then the next one, golden spiral,
wow.
zhup, 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 and then her arms rising, you know, to fingers above the head in this full, you know, extension of all feathers, the full wings. Oh, beautiful.
I'm feeling called to just like everybody like imagine the wings that are actually on you because we are these earth angels. This is the work that we're doing. And so if you can imagine it and believe it, that at some point it's going to be possible for us.
mm-hmm. Mary, from
I
the
love
moment
this.
you said that, I have just been sitting here wanting to just flap my wings. It's like it was like it ignited a memory in all of us.
I'm
One of
flapping
the
my
last
wings right now. They're so enormous, like they extend outside the perimeter of my house. They're huge.
Oof.
one of the last calls that we had, it was actually one that I had to listen to the recording of, but I had a major activation in the back of my back where I definitely felt like wings had popped out, and I was like, what in the world is that? So yeah, I absolutely love the synchronicity with this and how all of us are getting wings. It's so beautiful.
Use your shoulder blades to push them really tightly together and then expand them out almost as if you're
Release.
feeling the wings on your back and your shoulder blades.
Yeah, it's almost
know,
like
Shelby-
you're shrugging stuff off. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
funny because before you were saying that, I was thinking of doing cactus. If you know what cactus is in yoga, it's where you stick your elbows out and your hands point up, and you kind of feel that, almost like your shoulder blades are touching,
Compression.
and you just like yes, and you like squeeze that out, and then bring your arms back in. to really open up and work that stuff out.
Yeah.
So it seems like this session we're getting a lot of almost yoga related movement going on. I feel like.
But they were saying that the very start where we were getting the light through our shoulder chakras, that was the start of activating and expanding right there with the wings, the spine, everything we did that time.
Oh, a new movement's just come in for me. It's coming down one arm, but I'm going to repeat it on the other side. And that is rolling my shoulder forward, extending my arm, and then rolling my whole arm till the palm faces up. So there's this whole kind of undulation roll, but just down the full arm. Does that make sense to people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can feel it light up when you do that.
Yeah, it's like really pulling from the back and unfolding. It's just a very uncoiling feeling.
I get the sense we're releasing some stuff that's stuck in there to make more room.
More juicy pockets.
Yeah. And then I just saw stars inside the juicy pockets. So it's almost like the little pockets felt like kind of, you know, like a dishwasher tablet, like a little sort of squishy, like liquidy thing, like a little, it was like a little sealed pocket. But then they become like they're actually getting the light activated inside them. So it's like you had to open them first and then they'll just pure light.
Love it.
Stars.
I'm also getting a message that the sound of the wings and the sound of all of our wings moving together is another way that we can stay connected and that we can communicate with each other and that we can tap in when we need to really listen for the sound of the wings.
Okay, so when we started this whole thing and we talked about, going to the moon, so this stuff started popping in my head. Getting a bird's eye view of the way things, if we need a new perspective to get away. And it reminded me of this meditation I learned from Colette Baron Reed. It's called Get on Your Bird. And you call for your bird. Okay. Now, in this case, we are going to be the bird. But this meditation was you get on your bird and you ask your bird, whatever bird shows up, it means something. And then you ask your bird to take you wherever, like if you're in a moment of overwhelm or confusion or upset or whatever, then your bird will fly you to another location to where you can look down on your situation and see that what it really is and that what you're in is not, quite as it seems. So I find it really interesting that was the first thing that popped in my head when we talked about going somewhere, like, oh, a bird's eye view. And now we are the bird and we can fly ourselves to that place where we get away from whatever and are able to see things for what they really are.
Wow. I didn't know
Fly
she did.
me to the moon.
Let me
play among the
stars.
This song, you would not believe this. I have been listening to that song.
Really?
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I've been walking around.
That's so good.
Really?
That song.
Who was
Tears
singing?
in my eyes. That's so
gosh.
Sinatra.
Yep. Oh, this is great. Woo.
Are the beings still present?
Yeah, they are. They actually just a few minutes ago said that our transmission or activation has been complete for today.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions just generally that they want to present? I always feel like when we have the channel open, this is a good time to ask or bring up things if we've had, experiences or insights or awareness that have popped up recently that we're kind of unsure about or have questions on.
The thing that just popped straight into my brain just now was we need like a Batman symbol that's like shines out almost like a moon. It's like the calling.
Yes.
That we're calling for for the Batman signal to become a new moon in the sky. Like it's the calling to, hey everybody, get on your moon, get on your bird, become your bird, fly to the moon.
For some reason, I'm getting it's how the phased moon looks like, where you have the center circle and then the rest on each side, they go into the different phases. That for some reason, I'm getting that is that. I don't know if anybody else feels that.
Resonates. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, beautiful.
That feels like, because we see that symbolically in different places, and that would feel like that would be a good way for us to hone in on or lock into.
I'm also getting to wear silver, like call in moon, like I said before, wear your moonstones, wear silver things, like wear a silver scarf or something that keeps bringing in the frequency of silver, of that soft, that feminine, that beautiful, that lunar.
That makes sense. It's a trigger.
Love it. Yep.
I'm ahead of the game. I have 800 silver bracelets.
Are you wearing them all at once?
Pretty much, I do.
Love it.
Gosh, that's huge. For me, that's huge for you to say that, because making that connection with silver.
Yeah, the lunar to me is so silver, and whenever I'm working with source, it'll be sometimes combinations of the both, like seeing in golden energy, but sometimes it's actually very silver and then very hologramic, like these rainbow little through the silver as well. Yeah. But for moon, it feels really almost like this dusty, pearly, like a more ancient kind of pewtery, silvery frequency.
It's a higher, lighter silver for sure, like almost a white silver. If we were going to go through shades, there's the deeper gray silver, and then there's this really high white, like you said, almost platinum type thing.
So Vera, I'm being told to tell you that you need to be outside in the moonlight and like drink it in. It's part of your activation there.
Okay.
So at least one night, 2 would be better.
Okay, well, oddly enough, here in Maui is the first place I ever experienced a moonbow, and so I'm actually going to be trying to see if I can see that again. It looks like how we have the rainbow when the sun's out. You can actually see something similar, except it's at night. It's kind of crazy. So,
Vera,
Wow.
when I was a little girl, I told my dad that I had a memory of us looking outside of our hut and seeing the moon or seeing the rainbow at night.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was little, and he told me that never existed, and I must have had a dream. So I was probably like 3 years old when I told
Oh my
him.
gosh.
Yeah.
It
And he was
exists.
like,
for
oh,
real.
yeah. He was like, oh, that must have been a dream, Nisi, is what he told me. So when I discovered that those actually existed and that they existed in Hawaii, I had like one of those like, moments. Like
Wow.
dun dun dun. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'd read about it, but until I saw it, I was just like, wow, okay, that's for real. So no, thank you for sharing that. It's
Vera,
not made up.
is it only visible in Hawaii?
I've only seen it here. I've never seen it anywhere else. And when I saw it, it was like my husband and I were like, wait, what the hell? There's like a rainbow, but it's at night. It's weird. That's the only place I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it in Australia.
Oh, you get there too. Cool.
Not always. It's just a rare occurrence that sometimes you'll be like, wow, that is glowing.
Yeah.
Two things or questions come to mind. One is just either we do it now or later on the group chat or maybe in the Facebook page, is kind of a breakdown of all the things that would be good to remember as far as connecting with the moon, like because it seems like breathing in that pearlescent white was a really big part of it, breathing in that imagery and filling our space.
I think it'd be good to outline it on the chat just so that everybody could have access.
Yeah. And then what was the other thing? Okay, so this has been coming up since the beginning. We were talking about the chaos of the world, right? That we go to the moon and we see the bigger picture. And then what I believe Denise was sharing with that meditation was, you go on the bird to see the bigger picture of your own issue. And from the beginning of this call, I'm really in the middle of like this crazy windstorm. The wind's been howling, and then I'm also dealing with like body pain and stuff. And so I feel like I've kind of been experiencing this lesson or this like healing on a micro level. And so I guess my question is this learning and opening for today primarily for like the collective level? Or is there a connection? I mean, you can always make a connection with the macro and personal, but I'm just curious to ask them about that.
This is the response I'm hearing, is that it is the same. Whether you do it for the collective or yourself, it is the same.
It's as within, so without, right?
Yeah.
Amber, are we to have the second call today? Are we being guided towards that or no?
So the immediate answer was no. We don't have to have that call today.
Okay. I mean, because there's not as many people.
Yeah, this was the big one to receive. There's other things that could come out, but it's not necessary.
Okay. I'm just checking because I know that it feels like we captured most everyone in this call. There was a question that was posed that I've been curious about that maybe we can ask about here since we're here. I know MJ shared a dream about something about the Akashic records being affected or something to that nature. And I know within me what my answer is, but I'm curious to see if they can speak to if there's any, I guess we could say, wayward or negative intent to use the information in the records, whether that can be affected that way.
So again, immediate answer is no.
Yeah, that was my sense too.
Yeah, but how we will read them will be different. And I'm also hearing that how us are accessing it and getting information that will always be available. So it's almost as if the 1.0 version of Akashic Records is phasing out, 2.0 is up and active.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Access before, it's just not going to be, you just can't get it because that information is so much is not relevant anymore. They want to access on a higher level. So that information is understandable, usable at this place, at this time, at this frequency, at this vibration.
That's a beautiful analogy. And I've always said it and I'll say it again. The information that you receive or tap into is only resonant to the frequency that you hold. So to receive and access higher level permissions, like in technology, getting domain access means you have to have a certain level of attainment for that to happen. It doesn't just become available to just anyone on a lower level or density. So I think that obviously working in group helps increase that vibration and access on a whole other level than if we were able to do it individually.
Whew.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Feels like everyone got their Christmas present.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Everybody came
You're like
to
3 inches taller.
yeah. Everybody went to the galactic Christmas party and got their bonus. It was like Secret Santa. Well, no, I'm glad everyone's here, and just again, the frequency, the vibration that we uphold together is just always amazing. I really love each and every one of you for stepping up and taking part. Even if you don't feel like you're as chatty or as active as maybe Tamara or Tashiko, that's not a problem because we're all here contributing in our own way, shape, or form of this. So, just really grateful for all of you.
Can I just say, from my perspective, from being on a lot of these calls, you know, we receive a lot. It's just, we always typically get something. This, for me, physically and how it feels spiritually, is like the biggest expansion we've received.
I'm so glad that I woke up on time.
Woohoo! No, I know it's harder for the international folks. So I'm again, that's why I'm always humbled when you guys find the time to get on, because it just tells me that you're finding value in this or you're feeling significance in it. And obviously it's always great to be able to know that this traverses time zones and countries and whatnot. It's always amazing.
Yeah, I'm in the future for you guys, so like I'm totally activating way ahead of you in time, but time doesn't exist. So you're whatever.
Yeah, in the future.
It's a great brain bender, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in the past because I'm behind everyone from what I can tell. Christmas
and
future,
and you're in the ancient lands of Maui. Is it Maui that you are?
Yeah, I'm on Maui.
So beautiful.
The moon.
Go kiss that land for me, please.
Yeah, no, it's amazing here. I've been getting signals nonstop since I got here, so yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
They've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so we've had the chance to let the what is it called, the spirit of Christmas, future and past and present all converge. It's pretty cool. Is everyone feeling ready to wrap up?
Yep.
Yes.
Sure thing.
All right.
Yes. Thank you.
So thankful and grateful for all that everyone has received in the session. We'll get back into a state of pulling our energy back inward by taking a deep breath in through the nose and then letting that out through the mouth as naturally and as comfortably as we can in this moment. Taking a moment to gather all the energy back in towards the center. And as I move to close the records, I call Source Light Records back from myself, Vera Valencia Takakura, and each and every person, please say their name out loud.
Tamara Pasic,
Carrie Moore,
Tashiko Temple,
and Suki McGrath,
Ellen Warren,
Shelby McGee,
Denise Scott.
I can feel that come back through. And as I move to close the records, I turn my palm back over to the cosmic table of light. As we give gratitude for all the healings, clearing, support, guidance, assistance, information streams, downloads, frequencies, vibrations of the highest order and magnitude that have come forth for each and every one of us present in this session. Giving gratitude and honor and acknowledging the ascended masters, teachers, loved ones, star families, galactic beings, archangels, ancestors, record keepers, guides, and beings of light that also stepped forward and made themselves present. As we continue to close the energies and the dimensions and the portals, we set the intention to cut all cords, connections, bindings, contracts, portals, vortexes, energies, whether intentionally or unintentionally created, to fully and completely be released as we detach completely from the field, allowing us to travel again through the divine light path, through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root, legs, feet, down through the earth star, into the crystalline core of the planet, allowing us to center and anchor ourselves back here again. As we begin this process of recalibration and phase shifting into this energy, we're going to move back up through the earth star, feet, legs, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, all the way up into the central sun, pushing past into the unity consciousness field, pushing even farther into our pinpoint connection to source. Resetting the chakra circuit path so that we may start to follow our consciousness back down through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, homing and centering into our heart space, expanding our hearts into the universe, putting our palms up so that we may upload gratitude and this frequency into the universal collective, making sure or ensuring that we share this energy between us and beyond us, so that we can allow ourselves to start to move back into this space, setting the intention to move back into Mother Earth's sacred space, setting the intention to process and integrate all that has been transmitted and all that has been received, allowing us in this flow state to understand that we are one with the all and the all is one with us, allowing us to find our center point back into our home base so that we are anchored back into this 3D physicality, back into this earth plane, Aliyashua. So it is, and it is so. Imagine a beam of light above your head, splitting into the two sides of you. And as you start to reach just below the bottom of your feet, creating a final seal, so that with each seal, we receive a blanket of strength. And with each seal, we receive a blanket of stability. And with each seal, we receive a blanket of calm as we reintegrate back into the earth plane. Well, gosh, thanks everyone. I know it's hard to get together because of holidays and family commitments and social, events and whatnot. But thank you everyone for getting together. I know it's not always easy, but I feel this was really amazing. I didn't know what we were going to get or what was going to happen. I know the last few sessions were all on healing timelines, which I thought we were going to do, but didn't end up quite doing. So again, it's always a surprise. You never know what you're going to get. But thank you all for stepping up and contributing and sharing your frequency.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you all so much.
No,
Thank you so much, Vera.
No worries, and happy holidays. And we probably won't be able to reconvene until after the new year, but that's not too far away. But thank you, each and every one of you. You guys always make these special, so thank you.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so guys, happy holidays to everyone. And if I can make sure and take notes for everybody. All right, have a good rest of your holiday.